Hi guys, welcome to hi guys and girls. You never know, there might be some girls watching this, let's hope so. Hi there, welcome to another Team Clueless Battle Report. Today we are playing another game of 7th edition. I am here again at Chez Mark. There is Mark, there is Nick.
Hello.
We're doing a 2-on-1 game today. This is Nick's first game of 7th edition, so him and Mark are teaming up. They got 1,000 points each, and I am playing a 2,000 point army against them. Mark, what mission are we playing and what are its rules?
We're playing a game called the Spoils of War.
Spoils of War.
So, this one you always have your 3 cards in hand. You always draw up to 3 at the start of your turn. The thing that makes this differently is you would never, half the missions will say secure objective 1 to 6. You can never discard them, and you can also score your opponents as well.
Interesting. So they stay face up on the table. You can always see which ones you can score of your opponents. That seems really interesting. I'm liking how this is my 3rd time using the tactical missions, and each time the missions actually been quite different. It seems like they'd be quite samey due to the fact that the mission cards, obviously you're using the same mission cards each time. I'd have thought that would have been their random factor, but the fact that they made the missions different I find quite interesting.
It really has a lot of variety to the game.
Yeah, so let's quickly go through where we have deployed objectives. So, objective 1 is there, 2 is over here, 3 is slap bang in the centre of the table upon some alien puzzle box, 4 is down here, 5 is hiding over there in that bit of rubble, and 6 is down inside there. We've rolled for table edge, and Mark and Nick have chosen this table edge over here because it's slightly heavier on objectives, with this one being a bit off centre. And we have also rolled see who goes first, and Mark and Nick have also rolled highest to go first. Nick is a diva when it comes to rolling dice. So let's see what we've got in our armies for today. So today I'm bringing 2,000 points of Sentinels of Terra using my standard Crimson Marines. We are led by a librarian. He's level 2, Terminator armor, Storm Shield. He's got an Auspex and the Bones of Anthra something, which gives him +1 warp charge and lets him re-roll his psychic test. He is going to be in a drop pod with some Stern Guard. They've got 2 heavy flamers, 3 combi melters. We have an ironclad dreadnought in a drop pod. He's got a melter gun and a heavy flamer. We have a thunderfire cannon who has a drop pod but is not going to be inside it, and the drop pod has a Deathwind missile launcher. Because I'm playing the Sentinels of Terra, I get to take the Centurion Devastators in the elite slot. Centurion Devastators and normal Devastators, you can see next to them, get Tank Hunter special rule because they're part of a Imperial Fist detachment. So I've taken those all with the nice heavy weapons. So they've got twin las and missile launchers. These guys have 3 missile launchers and a las cannon. I have a scout squad with bolt guns and a combi melter inside a storm with a heavy flamer. I have 3 rhinos packing 3 tac squads. 1 tac squad has flamer, combi flamer, multi-melter. 1 has plasma gun, las cannon. 1 has melter gun, multi-melter and combi melter. And rounding off the list we have a stalker sitting up there. Let's see how we get on versus the evil horde.
And for the demon list today, we have taken Fate Weaver. I made an army up. I originally made it as a Demon Prince for the HQ choice, but when the Demon Prince was going to cost more than Fate Weaver, I changed my mind quite quickly. Troop choices, we've taken 11 Pink Horrors, and we've got 20 Demonettes. Both have got a champion each, and that's a Herald of Slanesh there on the steed with the Demonettes. We've got a unit of 5 Screamers with a Heraldess each on the disc as well. And we've also got 5 Seekers of Slanesh. Obviously we've already rolled up Psychic Powers and that as well. Fate Weaver has got Psychic Shriek, Prescience, Molten Beam, and is that Hemorrhage? Hemorrhage. That's the one. So not fantastic for Fate Weaver, but not bad. The Heraldess each has got Possession and Summoning from the Demonology. Summoning I'm quite looking forward to trying out. And the Pink Horrors have got Dark Flame as well. So for first game of 7th, I'm quite looking forward to trying out the Psychic phase.
Which exotic gifts have your 2 heralds got?
Oh yes, the exotic gifts. The Tzitz on disc has got the Grimoire, and he got a lesser reward, which was the Warp Breath, because I rolled really well on the
Warp Breath's good power.
And the Slanesh one has got the
Porta Potty.
Yeah, that's the one, the Portaglyph, to spew out even more demons, hopefully. So, and that was everything for my army. 2nd time of using demons, so let's see how they go.
Right then guys, allied with the demons is my Dark Eldar, and for the purpose of this game we're counting ourselves as allies of convenience, just for a little bit of ease, etc. And also Dark Eldar is my only evil army I've got, so I don't play Chaos. Right, leading from the front, I have the Duke Sisilus, just to try him out. He's obviously being proxied for today. I have 4 Incubi of no upgrade in a Venom with dual cannons. I have 2 identical squads of 5-man witches, both with Haywire Grenade in dual cannon Venoms. I've got 9 Cabalite Warriors with no upgrade in a Raider with dual cannons. I have the Razor Wing Jet Fighter. It's got this stock standard missile, stock standard gun. It's got the splinter cannon on the front. And I've got 2 3-man Reaver Jetbike squads with no upgrade. For my combat drugs, I have rolled +1 strength.
Oh, I didn't say my psychic powers, Mark.
Yep, go for it.
What did I got? I got Dominate and Terrify.
Oh yeah,
and
great psychic
Reach
powers.
as well.
We are probably not going to see the humongous amount of psychic powers today because of that. Right, let's see. I don't know if it got covered, but we are deploying first, and let's hope I don't get seized on the game, please.
So this is how we have deployed down here. They've deployed first, so we've got some pink horrors, we've got a Venom there with some jet bikes, the Screamers are there, then we've got a big blob of pink horrors there, and we've got some very well camouflaged Dark Eldar hiding in this bit of ruins. Another Venom, some Seekers, another Venom with Fate Weaver hiding out of LOS, and the jet bikes behind there. Over on my side, I've got a Rhino. This one over here has got flamers in. Then we've got the plasma guns and the melter guns, generally. We have hiding in here a Devastator squad and a Funfire cannon. I've bolstered that ruin. And over here we have similarly unpainted camouflage in this bit of ruin. I have my Centurions. Off the table I have obviously the 3 drop pods, and I have reserved the Stalker, and I have outflanked the Landspeeder Storm. What about your reserves, Mark? What have you got in reserve?
We've just got the Razor Wing, we've got the Raider with the 9 guys inside, and the Duke.
And the Duke, so he's in with the Raider.
That's deep striking, sorry.
Yeah, no problem. So let's steal initiative. Mark always loves it when I steal initiative, so let's watch his reaction. Here we go. Ah, what do I get? I get +1, don't I, from something?
For being a clock?
Yeah, plus I don't mind. I'll be a cock if I get +1.
And then you get -2 for something else.
So we're going to stick the cards down. So remember that we can each score each other's cards on your own turn, as it were. So Mark has and Nick has Hold the Line, which is... No, you read it out, mate.
Right, we automatically get that. Basically, we've got to stop you getting into our deployment zone, which we've also get.
Oh, nice.
Secure Objective 5, which is currently guarded by Centurion Devastators.
So that's not so bad.
Secure Objective 1, which we currently hold with Pink Horrors.
So they're going to get at least 2 points at the end of their turn. I'm quite liking the fact that Objective 5 will still be there. So remember the mission rules that they can't discard the higher number, the secured objective thing, so that will stay there, so I will get a chance to score that in my turn, which is quite nice. So let's see how we go. Their turn 1, we don't have night fighting. They tried to roll for it but failed.
End of Demons and Dark Eldar turn 1. What do we do? Right, the pink horrors have moved around and they've secured ourselves objective 1 there, and the one of the Venoms there. The Screamers managed to turbo boost, and we managed to vector strike with 2, but we did no wounds over here. But we are in contestant of objective 5. And the Demonettes, we basically, I'm just moving around the table randomly. The Demonettes have moved and they just ran up to try and obviously stay within range of objective 3 there. The unit of they witches, Mark, to
yeah, they're witches.
They're the witches. They've stayed in the room, in the little rubble area there for number 2. One Venom has moved up there to objective 4. He fired through on his turn to the Devastators there. He managed to take out 1. He took out the Sergeant, didn't he? This one, because that's the one
he
Sergeant.
took out the Sergeant.
We've got 1 unit of jet bikes here. This Venom moved around here and he shot at the Devastator squad as well. And he managed to take out 3 of them. He took out the las cannon and normal Putzer.
Normal guy.
The Seekers have run up to the side here, and Fate Weaver has taken to the air and flown up here. Psychic phase with obviously we just basically Fate Weaver's casting psychic powers. We Psychic Shrieked, which you denied, and then we did Hemorrhage, and we killed the Thunderfire, which is always good. And then we tried.
So that gave you first blood. So you better add another point up here.
Oh, of course, yes, first blood. And we also tried one of the Zeech powers to try and affect a Rhino, but we failed to glance it.
Nick rolled 3 ones in a row.
Yeah,
Right.
three ones in a row. Yeah.
And this turn, the
And-
Warp Storm table did nothing.
And these jet bikes come over here and they did like a vector strike, isn't it, Mark?
I did a slash attack and that made Cody go to ground.
Graham to ground for 2 up save, and he's obviously made his save. He's still got his two devastators there. They did pass their leadership, and we scored 2 of our tactical cards. We've got Hold the Line, which was basically not letting Curly's stuff into.
It's actually having scoring units in our table.
Scoring units.
Bit of a nice card to get turn 1.
Yeah, and we also had to secure objective 1, which was here. Obviously going into Curly's turn, Curly has drawn his objective for his turn, which he's got secure objective 5, which is the one there, that's the one which we haven't got yet. That's why the Screamer...
Yeah, so if I can clear this one Screamer's in range, if I can clear him off, then I get to score 2 VPs this turn, so obviously I'm going to be attempting to do that, I would wager.
So that's that. And he's also got secure objective 1. Our pink horrors are on that one there, which could be a problem for him. And secure objective 2, which is the one...
Yes, I got very bad cards for this game, because I've given you 2 points, basically, because I'm not fast enough to get over there.
Drop pods.
I don't have objectives secured in my drop pods.
Yeah, so it's quite good. It's a good turn 1. Good turn 1 for us, I say. See how Space Marines do on their turn 1.
Okay, so it is Space Marine turn 1. Nick had moved forward with his Screamers, which had the Grimoire and the level 2 Herald in, so I really wanted to just kill those this turn. So I disembarked here, here, and here. And poured fire into them, and ended up having to fire my Centurions at them as well. And I fired all the vehicles at them, and the passengers from in there, and the passengers from in there. And the last possible bolter shot managed to remove the last wound from the Herald. So I did what I wanted, but I had to put a bit more firepower in than I was expecting. But they are gone, which is the most important thing. Over here, I fired these guys at the bikes, but did nothing. The 2 missile launchers had gone to ground last turn, so as they were snap firing anyway, they decided to snap fire at Fate Weaver, but didn't do anything. Over here, I came down in my drop pod with the Librarian there and his squad of Stern Guard. With the new Flamer rules, you hit units inside vehicles when you hit them with Flamers. So I fired over at the Venom there that had a single dude inside it. The dude inside has failed his leadership check. Oh, he needs to make another leadership check as well. He's been pinned. Let's see if he runs off the board. Forgot to do that one. No. He is still on the board. So fired over there, managed to wreck the vehicle, using bolters again, managed to finish it off. It survived the 3 melters. I Psychic Screeched over here at these, but I only had 1 extra Psychic dice this turn, and Nick rolled, I think he had 9 or 10 dice to deny with, so he easily denied the Witch on that. And last thing, my Dreadnought came in over here and took a shot at the back of a Venom, but as we all know, single shot melters cannot hit anything. So that was the end of my turn. I managed to score objective 5 twice, 1 that Mark and Nick had over in their pile, and 1 in my pile. Unfortunately, I still have objective 1 and 2, which is really bad, because they are over here, and my army is not quick enough to get to both of those objectives this turn, so that's basically given them 2 points extra on top of the 2 points they got, and they have now drawn their objective cards. So they have got scored D3 if they control any 3 objectives, which we've already done, so they're getting that one automatically. Secure objective 6, which is over there, but I don't have an objective secured used on it. Oh, sorry. 6 is in the building, but I do have an objective secured. My Rhino is objective secured, so that's not quite so bad. And then they get to score D3 plus 3 if they control all 6 objectives. They already control 4 of them, so they need to take control of that one and that one, which is not beyond the realms of possibility with a giant super fast Demonette squad. Let's see what happens.
End of Demon Dark Eldar turn 2. The Pink Horrors, being afraid of this Dreadnought that they can't hurt, have decided to run and got themselves as far back into that building, sort of the top 2 levels. So the Dreadnought will need a bit longer charge than needed. The Warpstorm table this turn did it was the Khorne one. So it did quite a lot. Yeah, it hit lots of units. I'll say that because it hit the drop pod here, and it's done a whole point to that one.
Knocked a weapon off that Rhino there.
No, it was the Rhino by the building there, wasn't it? That one, it knocked the weapon off. It hit both my Slanesh units.
But did nothing.
Did nothing. Actually, the one for that, it scattered onto the Rhino. But I think that was all it actually did in the end. But it did hit quite a few units. Venom has turbo boosted and is up behind this big rock here for cover. So these Space Marines will have to move around. Fate Weaver is still in the air, and he's basically just flying over because he's one of the only things we've really got that can take care of this Dreadnought. So he's making his way across the board. We tried 2 Psychic Powers this turn. We did Psychic Shriek, which got denied. And we did Molten Beam, which was basically We did a whole point to the
Yeah,
did a whole point on
combined with
weapon
some other
destroy.
stuff wrecked that
It's
vehicle.
weapon destroyed. Yeah, there's a couple of bits wrecked it, and we killed a Space Marine as well. The guys that were left inside, those two there, are the two which were left inside, which got out and they survived. The Seekers here, they've charged into the Rhino. We only dealt it one whole point, unfortunately. We was hoping to try and get rid of that, seeing as one of our tactical objectives was to score objective 6 underneath here. And obviously the jet bikes, these ones turbo boosted over. We've tried to kill them, but the first 4 fell like paper, these devastators.
Yeah.
The other 2 are just standing there.
They are solid as a rock.
The Eldar Flyer came in this turn. That did some damage to... That was the Rhino and Space Marines and that. The Stern Guard unit, isn't it, this one?
Stern Guard, this is where it all went wrong for me.
The Demonettes decided to charge in. We got a very good charge, actually, on them. And the
I think I overwatched and killed 5 or 6 of you.
You killed 5
5
with the Overwatch.
Yep.
But the champion was actually at the front and I had to look outside, so we did manage to get in. The champion is locked in combat with the librarian who failed to hit it.
Yeah, nice rolling.
And I did very well with my rending and actually killed 5 of the Stern Guard in one combat in the end, which was very good. So hopefully I can finish them off in my turn. And this Venom tried shooting. Was the Libby you tried shooting?
No,
shot
killed a plasma gunner.
Plasma gunner. That was it. I believe that's about it for our turn. Obviously, we still got one thing in reserve, which is the radar. Objectives. We scored from Curly's ones. We got the one for scoring objective 2 and objective 1. Our ones, we got the. We scored 2 objective points because we control 3 objectives. Because we got
you rolled a D3
1,
and got
2, and we got 4 down there.
Yep.
We've discarded the one which we have to control all objectives for because it's basically. We was hoping to have objective 6 at the end of this one because this is the one we didn't get. We haven't got scoring, but trying to get objective 5 as well could be a problem. So we discarded that to see what we get. So we've still got scoring objective 6 on our pile. And then we'd have to see what Curly draws in his turn. That was it for our turn 2, I believe.
Okay, we've quickly do the objectives I've drawn for the turn. I've got score objective 6, which is the one contested over in that building, but my Rhino is objective secured, so I'm hopefully going to deal with that this turn, keep them there. I score 1 if one of my units is within 12 inches of the opponent's table edge. That's quite likely, as my Dreadnought, he'll need to shuffle a little bit, but should be able to get there. And score 1 if I destroy a flyer or a monstrous creature this turn. That basically depends if my Stalker comes on, whether I've got much of a chance of that. We'll see what happens. Okay, Heroes of the Imperium turn 2.
Yep.
Reserve-wise, I only got my Scouts on this turn. The spare drop pod with the Deathwing Launcher and, most annoyingly, the Stalker stayed off the turn. So I moved on my Scouts over here. They were outflanking, and I got them out basically because if I got 3 models inside, 3 units inside their 12-inch deployment zone, I scored D3 objectives. So that's what I wanted to do. So they moved there and there respectively. I shot up with the Dreadnought, the Scouts, and the Drop Pod, and on the last possible bolter shot killed 1 Pink Horror. Nick went to ground, but that 1 Pink Horror actually denies him a warp charge point, so it's quite an important kill. My Dreadnought attempted the charge, it was an 8-inch, and he failed it. So that's good. Over here, this squad was around there, and they were a bit worried about the 4 Incubi that were hiding, because they could just jump over and easily charge wherever I went. So I decided to split them up to make a multi-charge harder, and also to try and take out this Venom. I fired all these squad over here and managed to put 1 hull point on, and then I double flamed from the top of the Rhino, hoping to kill some of the Incubi inside their transport. I got 6 hits on them, but Mark made all his saves, because they are power armoured Dark Eldar. Over here, the Centurions climbed up a bit on their rocks, and one of the objectives this turn was to kill a flyer, so I fired 1 of them up at the flyer, hoping for a lucky las cannon hit, and the other 2 fired over at a Venom over there. I wasted the Venom quite happily, but didn't hit the flyer. Down here, these 2 squads, one of which was inside the Rhino at the start of the turn, decided to move sideways and take out the Seekers, because if I didn't take them out, they would be in contact with the Rhino, getting to assault it again during my assault phase, because it's immobilised, and the objective is in there, and I need this Rhino to score it, because that was one of the other ones I was going for. So that's what they did. These 5 guys over here got moved forward and bolt pistoled the 3 jet bikes, intending to assault them afterwards, but the jet bikes have failed their leadership and have run back quite a distance, meaning they're outside assault range. The drop pod over there put fire down on the Seekers again. The combat went predictably this turn, with the press of Demonettes now all getting to attack, and they wiped out the last of the Stern Guard and did 1 wound to the Libby, but at least he is held there, and he is stopping them being on that objective, hopefully. They might be within 3, but hopefully not. But it also stops them moving, and the champion is still in combat using Fate Weaver's reroll. The Libby did one really useful thing this turn, though. He cast Terrify on Mark's Dark Eldar objective campers over there, who are just in 24-inch range. Gives them the -1 on their leadership, and they have to make a test. They failed the test, and because they're only 3 inches off the edge of the board, they have Scarpered, which is quite important, because that leaves... There's an objective 2 and 3, which those guys did have quite securely at the start of their last turn, and now they don't really have at all. So... Looking around the board, they don't actually control any objectives yet at the moment, because I'm contesting with a objective secured over there with the land speeder. That one is free. We'd have to measure that one, but it's possibly free. That one's free. I control that one, and I barely control this one, but they've still probably got more firepower on the table than I, and Mark's got a big objective secured unit, which he has already rolled for and has just come in this turn. So, objective-wise... what have you guys drawn? They have got score 1 point for killing a vehicle or a monstrous creature, or D3 if they score 3. They're likely to kill 1 because there's a 2-hole pointed rhino over there. Score 1 for objective marker 6. Again, that's the one hiding under Centurions, and I've now got an objective secured unit on it as well. And score 1 for objective marker 1, which is this one here, but it does have the objective secured land speeder hiding underneath it.
Slightly wrong. Objective 6 is the one with your...
Oh, sorry, I keep on getting that confused, don't I? It's the one with the rhino with objective secured on it over there. So that is the state of play at the end of turn 2.
Right, the end of our turn 3. Down as combat went as predicted. We basically killed the Librarian, which is good. These guys managed to rally. These guys have still fought to stalemate. Nothing went on down here. Apologies for shaky cam there, guys. Swing around this corner. Incubi got out. They lost one to Overwatch, but killed 3 of the Space Marines. The rest ran away. Right, this is where things are starting to go a bit peaked up. We've moved Fate Weaver and my Void Raven down to this corner. We're trying to kill a Landspeeder Storm, maybe do a hurt to Dreadnought and get rid of the Scouts because we had secure objective 1. Unfortunately, as you can tell by that corner there, that's still Landspeeder Storm. We failed pretty much everything we could do. We haven't even done a single hull point down there, so that was quite bad, but probably not the worst thing that happened this turn.
We killed 4 Scouts down here, though.
4 Scouts have gone.
5.
4 out of 5, but yeah, they passed the leadership, and 1 guy's just as bad as 5 guys in some ways. Right, I deep struck my Raider down here. You may notice it's not gone. This is because on the Demon Warp Charge power, he rolled the 6 on my vehicle. Managed to blow me up on the 1 roll he could do. So that's
power of Khorne.
And then a combination of the explosion and another Khorne power scattered onto them has killed 8 of the 9 guys, and that is not great at all. And then obviously his blast pistol failed to do anything to that vehicle with Curly making his cover save. So it's a pretty appalling turn for us. We've only managed to score the 1 point for line breakers. We're on 8 to Warlord, sorry. So we're on 8 to 6, and we're still holding Big Game Hunter objective 6 and objective 1 because we wasn't able to get rid of the objective denial Landspeeder. Kelly, do you want to take us through your cards?
So I got score 1 VP if an enemy unit was completely destroyed during my turn, which is a pretty easy one. If I destroy between 3 and 5 enemy units, I get D3, and if I destroy 6 or more, D3 plus 3, that's unlikely to happen. Score 1 if I have objective 5, which is here with the Centurions and the Las Cannon, so that's nice and easy. And score 1 if I kill the flyer or flying monstrous creature, which if the Stalker comes on, I've got an okay chance of.
Live rolling?
Live rolling, does the Stalker come on? Come on, he is. And the drop pod, which I actually quite like at this point, is on as well. So that's good. All reserves on. Okay, Space Marine turn 3. So this turn, the main priority was to remove Mark's 1 single scoring model from his unit with his Duke, who you can see hiding in the building there. So I moved these guys around the edge. They double tapped their bolt guns into him and killed him nicely. The rest of this shooting down here was a bit ineffective. I fired those over at the bikes, failed to hurt any. These guys in here fired at his character, failed to hurt it, and then failed a 2-inch charge, which wasn't good. Due to the move through cover. Over there, my final drop pod came in, dropped a large blast template on the Demonettes, killed 5 of them, which was nice. These guys decided to fire up at that vehicle, so an objective I could have gained if I could kill a flyer. I've got 2 hull points onto it from the Stalker, but then these guys with the twinning Las Cannons failed to hit them. Around here, the Rhino moved round and managed to flame these again and threw a crack grenade, but didn't really do anything to them, and I split fired with the Centurion, so one of the Centurions actually fired over here at this Venom and killed it. The Dreadnought managed to get into combat with the Pink Horrors, but rolled appallingly with loads of ones, so I killed one, and then they made their leadership check. I've left the land speeder there as its objective secured, so it's still holding that objective when needed. Other than that, not really much happened. Our fist fight down here between 2 Devastators and 3 bikes still continues. One of the Devastators has fallen, though. Slightly annoying. And that was my turn. Objective-wise, I managed to score 3 points that turn. 1 for controlling Objective 5, 1 for Objective 6, which I control down there, and the last one was for killing one of their units. If I could kill 3 of the units, I'd have got D3, but I only managed to kill 2, which was a little sad. They drew this turn, the one where you need to control at least 2 objectives and double what your opponent has to score D3 points. It's looking unlikely, but they might well be able to pull it off. There's a pretty manoeuvrable army. Let's see.
Right then, end of my turn 4. So Fate Weaver's moved down here. The ambition was to try and deal with the Screamer. I cast my maximum flickering fire and I managed to perils doing it, but Fate Weaver's okay, just took a wound. And Kelly made 6 out of his required jinx save, which is really
6
bad.
out of 6 jinx saves, pretty good.
Which is quite bad. Incubi came down here, charged the vehicle and managed to glance its death, which is good.
That got you a victory point, didn't it?
Well, it certainly aided in me. Didn't really do it. I had virtually no shooting. It was just basically down 2 shots down here. These guys still did a lot of combat, nothing happened. Combination shooting and assault from these guys, we managed to wreck the Rhino and killed 4 of the 5 Space Marines and still held. And down here, got into combat. So far, we've just killed one of their guys. We're locked in.
So I think that was a really good turn for you, and you needed a good turn there.
Yeah, I mean, actually, the bad rolling kind of helped in the end, I suppose.
Yeah, well, you made every assault, and I didn't put a single wound on any of your models in assault, so it was really, this down here was really good for you. I'd expected to do slightly better down there, and you wiped out most stuff, and you're stuck in combat with 1 model each time, so you're going to kill that 1 or 2 models, and then you get to assault me again, whereas I don't get to do anything to you this turn, which is really bad for me.
Which is definitely good. I mean, these guys have got virtually nothing to shoot at now.
No, nothing to shoot at all. They're going to have to try and charge into something just to try and swing a combat, I think.
Yes, so yeah, as you said, pretty good. And my flyer's flown off the board if that hasn't become obvious.
Because I've got an objective to score it. So objective points, you got 1 that turn for killing vehicles, and you were 1 off killing an extra to get an extra D3 victory points, weren't you? So objectives that I drew that turn on. Moving around. So I got scored D3 if my opponent's Warlord has been removed as a casualty. So Fate Weaver has taken a wound now, so he's slightly easier to remove, still not easy. Manifest the Psychic Power. I don't have my Cyclist, so that's pointless. And destroy an enemy flyer or fly monstrous creature, which again is Fate Weaver. So I'm not looking good for scoring any this turn. I've marks one that he has left, which I can score, is Objective Marker 1, which if I can roll decently against the Pink Horrors, I could get them to disappear off that, and I could do that one, which would be quite nice. Let's see if I can. So, Space Marine turn 4. This turn went surprisingly well due to Mark rolling all 2s on one of his dials. So down here, these guys who had been knocked out of their Rhino last turn continued to pour fire onto these indestructible Incubi. I managed to get a wound on one that stuck. So 1 has died, but the 2 of them were quite capable of going through my squad. Over here, all these units back this way because everything in this side of the board was in close combat, so I had no targets to their shooting. So they all moved this way and targeted Fate Weaver, who was up there. I managed to get some nice sterling hits with my Stalker and my Centurions and put enough wounds on him, and Mark rolled a whole swathe of 2s. He re-rolled 1 with this thing, but he still took 5 wounds, and Fate Weaver went down. So that's nice. No more Psychers left on Mark's behalf, other than the Pink Horrors. Down here, my squad of 5 Space Marines, having no targets and knowing they're not quick enough to back away, charged into combat with the Demonettes. I actually won the combat. They killed 2 of me. I killed their champion and 2 of them, so 1 combat by 1, but Mark made his leadership. Around here, the Space Marine with the missile launcher is still in combat. They're actually inside this building. We just moved it out of the way for video purposes. He is still locked in combat with his 3 adversaries. I think they're going to be there till the end of time. Mark's leader and his 2 jet bike companions managed to kill their final opponents, so they're free to do what they want. Around here, the Ironclad is invulnerable, cannot be hurt by Pink Horrors. But unfortunately, he can kill 1 a turn, and the leadership never rolls really bad to kill a load more. So they're still objective securing that, and I have 2 units on the bottom objective securing it as well. So that is not moving anywhere fast, unless I manage to kill 2 or 3, and then he rolls really high on his leadership to wipe them out. That's my hope, anyway. Victory points this turn. I had the one down here which gave me D3 if I killed the enemy Warlord. That's why I went after Fate Weaver so much. I only rolled a 2, so I only got 1 VP from it. but I also scored the one for killing a flyer or flying monstrous creature. So 2 VPs for me, plus the Warlord point. So the scores on the doors at the end of both of our turn 4s is 12 to me and 9 to Mark, stroke Nick, who has had to go to a barbecue.
My objectives.
Oh, your objective. Let's see what Mark has got. What have you drawn, Mark?
Secure objective 1.
Secure objective 1, which you already had, so that's the one up there.
Secure objective 3.
Well, that one's not so good for either of us.
Behind enemy lines, you need to get a unit in your deployment zone. If I get 3, I get D3.
Ah, so that's looking pretty good for you, though, because over there you have 3 units, but the demonettes aren't going to be there, I don't think.
I've got 3
but you can
units,
split it off.
I've got the Duke.
Yeah, you can split the Duke off and then get 3 units for it. So that's looking pretty promising for Mark to gain a few VPs, and it is turn 5 now for Mark, so we're coming towards the end of the game. So, the end of Space Marines turn 5, possibly the end of the game. We'll roll on camera in a moment. So down here, my Stalker took aim and blew Mark's flyer out of the sky. My Centurions hopped up on some rocks and fired down and blew Mark's 2 jet bikes off the central objective. My drop pods over there, one of them was in range and I managed to try and shoot some demonettes up that failed, so he's basically got over there. All those 2 vehicles there are wrecked. Las Cannon attempted to shoot down the flyer first, failed. Around here, these guys are moving really slowly that way, but the main action of the turn came over here. At the last moment, just before I started the assault, I decided, screw it, I'll charge in with 1 scout. It was slightly dangerous. If he didn't kill the pink horror he was in combat with, the pink horror could strike back, although not particularly deadly. He moved in, he managed to kill 2 demonettes, which is about what the dreadnoughts killed all combat. Shamed into action, the dreadnought then killed 2 more, pink horrors, killed 2 more pink horrors, and then Mark rolled his leadership at -4, and the other 2 were wiped off the board, which was massively important because it means I scored their objective, which was secure number 1, so I got 1 point from that, and of my selection, which were pretty poor, one of them was win a close combat and completely wipe out a unit in close combat this turn, which happens as well. So I gained 2 VP. So the scores at the end of the doors are 14 for me and 11 to Mark, and it's end of turn 5. So let's roll a dice, Mark, and see. So 1 or 2, the game is over.
It's over.
The game is over. Good game, Mark. That was a nice close one. That's one of the closest we've had objective missions, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
So what do you think? I was mostly impressed by the speed of the Dark Eldar stuff.
They got everywhere, didn't they? Really
Flimsy as all hell, but
they're still kicking. I mean,
well, the Jinx saves really powerful.
Incredibly useful.
Yeah,
especially on the bikes, getting 3
yeah,
arms.
bikes are awesome. I mean, I can't imagine how good
yes.
Eldar ones are with objectives secured as well.
Well, it's the fact that they can do something when they turbo boost as well is useful.
Yeah, the fact, they turbo boost over, do some slashing, just really powerful.
Yeah.
Excellent unit. Of the demons, I feel you pressed, as you said earlier on to me, that you pressed too early with the demons, so I got to wipe them out before kind of like the rest of your Dark Eldar stuff had moved forward enough to join them. Because I wiped out all the Screamers, and that was the Grimoire gone early doors.
That was definitely a massive misplay by me.
Yeah, and the Seekers as well kind of like moved forward, so they came into range of my guns. I mean, you pinged me in though. The fact that you did press early on meant I was only on 2 objectives for the first couple of turns of the game, and you moved into a pretty healthy lead on the old victory point table.
Yeah. It was definitely a big swings, wasn't it? Really.
And I was unsure what to do in my librarian because I didn't want it to be in the centre of the board because of the demonettes. So I wanted to put it at the side of the board to draw the demonettes away from the rest of the battle if they did decide to charge me. But I really thought I'd do better in combat with them, so he kind of like got thrown away pretty early. Other than that, the rest of them, I thoroughly enjoyed the twin linking bolters that playing Sentinels of Terra gives me. I was using them all the time.
Yeah, that was really helpful, especially on the Overwatch.
Yeah, twin linking all the Overwatch shots and such was just really powerful. Excellent effect, really like them. And the Tank Hunter on the Devastated Centurions proved pretty useful a couple of times. They were quite nice. They just occupied the centre of my table edge and just fired at a unit and put damage on every turn. I mean, they're expensive for what you get. But they're so much more survivable than the Devastators who bit the bullet turn 1, more or less.
Yeah, they got, well, I'd say that actually, they did. They last for most of the
one
game.
of them tied up one of your jetbike units for a long time.
Yes, I've only just got through with that.
Yeah, again, the game seemed to prove that mobility was really important because you were coming back into it at the end there because you'd wiped all my stuff down here and you had your 2 jet bike units that could basically go and grab any objective they fancied each turn.
Mm.
So if the game had gone on, I'm uncertain how it had gone. I had a lot more firepower than you left, but I think your mobility could well have played a bigger part.
Yeah, definitely. It was going to be sort of interesting. Obviously, both forces have been absolutely nicely. I think the big swingy turn when he killed the Fate Weaver.
Yeah, really powerful. I mean, the Dreadnought over here took his while to kill them, but I really like the fact that you had nothing that could really hurt him.
Yeah, all my stuff that I've got all the grenades and stuff like that, but or sensibly put them away from him. But it's not like
I mean, one of the other big turns was when Khorne came down and stomped your killed your vehicle and 7 of the contents. That's a big swing.
Yeah,
there.
A lot of points there lost.
That's probably worse because I think it was obviously far less likely than when I lost my Libby and such.
Yeah,
that was a big swing against me, but then that was a massive swing for me again.
And that was what, over 100 points, well over 100 points.
Oh, easily over 100 points, yeah.
200 points. It's a good chunk of my army.
And it's the fact that it stopped you from firing all that stuff that turn. You lost your alpha strike with the unit.
Yeah.
And your plan for that was to go and grab the objective secured from over here, with your objective secured, and you failed to do that, so the Demonettes had to push up.
There was an extra Dark Lance. It was something else you didn't have to shoot, an extra anti-tank weapon.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, really, it was really interesting. I really liked the play between the objective secured and normal scoring that game. It came into play an awful lot. It came into play a load down here, a little bit over there with the drop pod and the Demonettes. It came into play quite often over there on that objective, which was really nice. I love the new scoring system. I think the next game we play, I'd probably want to play the old style missions just to see how they play with objectives secured.
Yeah, I think it's just because the other guy had to leave the barbecue early. He's never played it, so this is the most changing game. So he wanted to try it out. Yeah. I definitely want a more regular sort of standard game.
Yeah, that's it. What do you think of psychic powers again? Due to the internet still being of the belief that they're broken beyond belief.
The internet's clearly right. Psychic powers are broken. It did so much that game.
Yeah.
With a level 4 psyker, 2 level 2s, a level 1, a reasonable amount of psychic powers, it did little.
The only main thing it did was remove your unit down here with
and got the Thunderfire cannon.
Classy Terrify. Oh, yeah, it did kill the, but I think you'd have killed the Thunderfire anyway, just with freezing shots.
Yeah, I mean, you spend the points. I reckon you get less than what if you spent it on, say, good shooting or good assault.
Yeah.
I think you get less benefit. I really don't think Psychers. I think people are massively overrating Psychers.
Yep, I would agree. I mean, so I suppose people take them due to the fact that every so often they can pull out a real doozy and do stuff that's unexpected.
It's invisibility, isn't it, really?
Yeah, and yeah, that's the reason I took my Libby. I really wanted to invisible my Stern Guard so they can just sit in the middle of your army shooting crap out of stuff. But
it's invisibility that's really powerful, and it's the ability to tailor as well. Sometimes it's useful. Someone like Tiggy who can randomly get, where you've got the rerolls and stuff like that to make it more likely, he can get the powers you need if there's a particular scenario. That's what I do like about the Psychers. But no, I'm not, generally speaking, I'm not going to be sort of building that many, if at all.
That's it. Vehicles again proved they were pretty survivable. I was left with all 3 of my drop pods, although you weren't obviously firing at them because only 1 was on an objective. My Stalker's still alive, my Dread's still alive. I managed to get all of yours, but they're all open topped.
And it was the last turn you killed it.
Yeah, that's it. Any other thoughts you can think of? I felt mission-wise, I felt this one was, even though it proved quite close in the end, so it may not be the best example of it, I felt that as we could score each other's, it was even more swingy than usual.
Yeah, it really was.
Because the first couple of turns, I think the first turn you scored 2 or 3 points on your turn, and then you scored 2 of mine at the end of your next turn as well. And I was like, oh, bugger. Because I couldn't, they were both over this side, and I just, on the first turn, I had no chance of getting over there.
But the big one, we had this for most of the game.
Yeah.
And it's just a dead card in our hand.
Yeah, the fact you're not allowed to discard them is really important as well.
Which is a real pain in the ass for us. We just lost out on the sort of the gimmies and stuff.
Yeah, that's it. But that game, they were pretty even, that game, I felt, in the end.
Yeah. I don't think the cards were what swung it. I think it was probably Khorne's Wrath that kind of...
That was a big swing.
Khorne's Wrath, I think the big swings was probably Fate Weaver going down in the Khorne's Wrath. And the Libby, probably the 3 Demonettes down in this combat. That was probably the big stuff. But we made charges!
We made charges.
We had some assaults.
Did we fail any charges that game? Taking the...
yes, the Dreadnought failed one.
Yes, Dreadnought failed one. Taking the move through cover on the Demonettes was a brilliant idea from Nick because they didn't fail a single charge, and I think that -2, they were making lots of... Okay, they're fleet, but they were making lots of 9-inch charges, and with the -2, I don't think they'd have done it.
They done well because of it.
That they did. Anyway, we'd better go there because we've got to pack up and such. And Marco's got to feed a small child, else his girlfriend will probably get annoyed. Shouldn't starve children on video, should we?
It's a bit hard.
Cheers. Okie doke. See you next time.